All right, everybody. So I'm Eric Stein. I'm the chairman of the board for the chapter. And how long have I been doing that?
Oh my God, that's 6 years, 5 years?
No, chairman?
Oh, the chairman, oh, it seems like that a year.
I've been involved.
That's right, 6 months, 6 months, 6 months as chairman, right?
All right, so anyway, it's really no surprise the outpouring and support that are here tonight because we're here to celebrate Gino. Amen. So thank you all for being here. So the first thing I want to tell everybody is that the tree of hope on the wall is not full, right? So grab your pieces of paper to make your donation. Get people interested in getting a leaf or a stone. But Katie and Sherry know how to donate one of those leaves on the sly, right? That they learned from Gino. So if you go to the Tree of Hope and you look at the trunk and you kind of just look straight up, there's a silver one right in the middle. And in the near future, that one will say a champion of hope in honor of Gino Columbara for his 27 years of dedication to the Alzheimer's Association, or something like that. It's really the least that we could do to preserve his honor for all the stuff, all the things that he's done, since 1995. So, what else can we do, right? There's a lot more that we can do into the future, but to just, dedicate and put that into some kind of memorial that people can see forever, we thought that was great. So thank you, Katie and Sherry, for helping me with that, and we'll get that done.
Oh, thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right. So, there's supposed to be about, between like 30 and 90 people here tonight. I don't know what the right number is, but so we're going to give everybody 5 minutes to talk. So
why don't you let Gino start and then nobody will have any. That'll be it. Is this a roast, actually?
So the party ends at midnight tomorrow.
Oh, love it.
Then I can make them laugh.
Yeah.
You laughing, Grace? All right. Why don't you come up here?
Yes, Grace, come on. Grace.
All right. So, because behind every hard-working man is a
this woman
more
right here.
hard-working woman, right? Okay. So.
You don't have to convince her.
So 2 days ago on Wednesday we had our board meeting, and Katie and I got together on the sly and talked about what's going to happen tonight, yada yada yada. So she said I would have a talking part. So I really didn't know what I was going to talk about. I didn't even know what the dress code was, so I wore my best Alzheimer's walk stuff. So if you haven't dedicated yourself to the walk this year, get hot. All right, so I'm sitting at work, very busy. Thought, maybe I should take a break and do some stuff for the Alzheimer's Association. So I said, well, what could I do? Well, so I brought up my favorite search engine and I plugged in Gino Columbara, right? I even spelled his last name correctly. 7 pages came up. Clicking through them all. The first 4 are all our Gino, okay? And except for the police records, it's all good, right? So give it a try this weekend, and it'll be great. But the thing that I saw that most represented you, Gino, was something that you wrote in 2018. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And it says, why I walk with Gino Columbaro. And it says, I'm Gino Columbaro, and I have had the honor to be the executive director of the Alzheimer's Association Southeastern Virginia chapter for the past 23 years. I know it's 27 now. And I walk each year for a very personal reason. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'll read you the most significant parts. So it starts with, my journey with Alzheimer's started over 30 years ago. It began with my father, John Columbaro. Initially, my Alzheimer's journey was extremely lonely. There was not much awareness of Alzheimer's at that time. In fact, my father did not get formal diagnosis of Alzheimer's until 1989, and my father passed away in 1993. The tide has certainly changed since then. I feel proud to be part of that changing tide. 30 years ago, I could not imagine a day when everyone who needs care and support gets it as a result of our work. Today I can. 30 years ago, I could not imagine a day when research is funded at the proper level. Today I can. And recently it was reported it's $3.4 billion of federal funding of research. 30 years ago, I could not imagine a day when stigma would be eliminated. Today I can. And 30 years ago, I could not imagine the day when everyone survives, the day our vision is realized. Today I can. The walk to end Alzheimer's is one of the ways I pay tribute to my father. I hope you will join me at one of our walks. I look forward to seeing you. Gino Columbaro. So today, let's celebrate Gino. Send him and Grace off with the pride and respect that they deserve, and keep on doing what we can to find a cure for this horrible disease. Thank you. Okay, and next is Kate Rupert, who is the Regional Director for the Alzheimer's Association.
So I've only had the privilege of working with Gino for the last 5 years, but I know 27 plus years. How many of you have known Gino for more than 10 years? Raise your hand. 15 years. 20 years. 25 years. I mean, look around this room, the love for Gino, and Grace, a lifetime, I know. Look around the room, and I think this is just a testament to who Gino is and the love we all have for Gino. And I will say, in the short period of time I've had the opportunity to get to know Gino, you'd ask when I first started, tell me about Gino Columbaro. What's he like? And everyone would say, he's literally the nicest person you'd ever meet. And it's a word that comes up again, and dedicated and passionate, and just the most unbelievable person. He gets to know you as a person. And you're not just a name to him, you are a person, and he knows your story. And just walking down the hallway tonight and getting to hear all the stories and the legacy that Gino leaves, it's a testament to who he is. So I feel honored to be able to stand here next to him tonight and welcome he and Grace again for all her dedication to the association on their journey as they move forward. And we've been swapping some stories on Gino's legacy over the last few years. And as Gino has been here for 27 plus years, he shared that he has led some national initiatives for the association. And he said that at one point, he was afraid people would ask too many questions, so he passed out Tootsie Roll Pops. Because he figured if they were sucking Tootsie Roll Pops, I do think there's a correlation with the fact that there's pops in but in the other room that he was afraid this might be a roast. So, but I think this, looking around the room, and this is just one, I think, small percentage of people that Gino has touched in his lifetime of 27 plus years here at the Alzheimer's Association. And as Eric alluded to, the reason why he got started was his father, and what he and Grace lived through that period of time. I think they have shaped a better future for other families to not go through what they had to go through. And so many of us have gone through that. We know after 27 years that those are some big shoes to fill, Gino. but you leave a foundation and a legacy that no one else in the association has ever done before. So we thank you for your dedication. The roast is going to start in a couple of minutes. And we thank you for everything you've done, but I honestly think, you know, when everyone always talks about you, everyone just truly says, Gino's the most amazing person I've ever met in my life. So thank you for being in our lives. Thank you for letting us be part of your life and Grace's life. And we're so excited for this next adventure. So I don't know which one of you is Thelma and Louise. But I do hope that there's, you know, there's the video part in retirement, and then there's the afterlife that you will be having too. So thank you for everything, Gino. Thank you for letting us love you and loving all of us and loving everyone in our community and paving a brighter path. And for Grace, again, thank you for everything you've done, because the two of you are a package duo at everything. I remember walking with you at my first walk 5 years ago here, and I know that Grace is just as committed to Gino, to this mission and this cause. So again, raise your glasses as we all toast Gino for his well-deserved retirement. So, as a small token of appreciation, I know we have some fun travel items for the two of you. Some gift bags from the staff to celebrate your journey as of July 1st. And I think Gino and Grace are really good at retiring, because I think he stops work on the 30th, and they are literally leaving on July 1st.
God. Oh, Seinfeld trivia! Jerry, you ready?
So there's no mistake that there's a, you know, I think a karaoke mic for both of you. So I now want to open it up, so I know the staff, there's a few staff that want to say a few words as well too, so.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
I can do that.
She's not really a staff, but we brought her out of retirement, and she's a perpetual, always a staff.
You've heard of lifelong work?
Yeah.
I'm a lifelong staff member.
Last 12 years.
So I tried to think of how to narrow down all the things I could say about this guy. And it's funny because sometimes things just happen. And so on the radio today, I heard two things that I said, okay, that's where I'm going with this. So one of them was, I heard the Beatles song, I Get By With a Little Help From My Friends. And that certainly applies to tonight. And I want to thank everyone on behalf of the staff for pitching in and helping us to do just a small tribute to Gino tonight. Just a small fraction of what we know he deserves, but we greatly appreciate all the help that we got in putting this together. And Gino knows, he's often talked about how his friends are there for him, but as Kate said, if you listen to people talking tonight, you'll also know that he's always there for his friends. So I Get By With a Little Help From My Friends seemed to be very appropriate. That and the fact that I feel very fortunate that the only job I've ever had where my boss and his wife have actually become friends.
Wow.
So I'm very fortunate there. The other thing was, I was listening to the radio, and I heard that there was going to be this guy talking today, and he calls himself a joyologist. And as soon as I heard that, I thought, that's Gino. That's you know, he's not going to have executive director after his name. He can put joyologist because you all know, and I bet there's not a single person in here that hasn't experienced this, that if Gino does something nice for you, which he often does, and you thank him, what does he say? My joy, or our joy. But you know, we can all say stuff. We throw stuff off like, I'm fine, or, you know, how are you, good morning, whatever. But he really means it. And I've never, ever known anybody who was so full of joy, genuine joy. And it's not just that he tries to be happy all the time, and you know, because I've seen this guy when he's not so happy. You know, every day was not roses. But he has that genuine joy inside that you can't deny. It's just in there. And so that's one of the things that makes him such a great person to work for and to work with, is that joy, and it just spills over. And he inspires other people because you just want to do more, you want to be more, you want to be better, you want to work harder. And there's nothing that he's ever asked I worked here for over 11 years. I never saw him ask staff to do anything that not only he wouldn't do theoretically, but that he didn't do. You know, if we had to be somewhere at 6:30, he was there at 6. And if I had to stay here late to run off those stupid things, he was here till I was here. And, you know, he has loaded trucks, he has driven trucks, he's driven all over the state. There's nothing that he wouldn't do for the organization and for his staff and his friends. And I think everybody here knows that. So I wanted to read you the definition because joyologist is a real thing. I looked it up. And it's someone whose job it is to, quote, support and encourage your physical and mental health so you truly live and love your life. And I think that definitely describes you. So,
There you go.
And I cannot let this opportunity go by without saying truly that who you are makes a difference every day.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mind if I
One of the downfalls of being Italian and emotional.
Well, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Katie McDonough. I'm the Director of Programs and Services for the chapter. I've worked with Gino now for a lot. I've known him a lot less time than you all have, about 6 years now, a little over 6 years. And probably like everyone in this room, I remember the first time that I ever met him. Ever heard his voice, really. It was over the phone. It was for my phone interview. And I knew at the end of that conversation that I wanted to work for him. And I have to say, you came along in my life, the association came along in my life at the exact time that I needed it. I was a mother of a 2-year-old. I was a young widow. I had lost my partner just 2 years before. It was the toughest time of my life. And I didn't realize it until a little bit of time later how much I needed this man and this organization in my life. He has always taught me where to find the positive, the joy. If you're Spaceballs fans, it's the upside of the Schwartz, right? Yeah, you got a fan back there. Right? He has taught me in my early years of my career to always assume the best of people, because that's where you're going to find the solution to whatever problem that you're facing. And I'll say that today, the 5 of us who remain as the staff of the Southeastern Virginia chapter, we're sitting around together for the first time in 2 years, I think, that we've all been in the same room.
Wow.
And we all were just talking about all the change that we've experienced over the course of the last years, all the change that is to come, right? Because that's life. Life is change. And we all agreed that we're fine. We got this. Everything's fine. We're grounded. We know each other. We work together. It doesn't mean that we don't disagree or things don't always go as planned, but we always figure it out as a team, right? We are one team. And that's because of you. That's because of you. You said that was because of us. That's because of your leadership. So I'm so sorry to lose you. I am going to hate not being able to walk down that hall and tell you a joke and laugh. But I am so happy for the 2 of you. I've seen Grace in the background and the screen the last couple of years going to yoga, you know, and I'm so excited for you to do all of those things. You both deserve it more than any people I know. Thank you for all that you've done. Thank you for what you're leaving us with, and we promise that we will continue to grow it because of you, because you gave us that. Thank you.
Wow. You know, I mean, like Herb said, he never really saw me speechless. Well, here you go. I'm sorry.
Yes,
Jen?
I'd be happy to. Be happy to.
I gotta bring them out, I mean, they're the staff members. The boss is leaving.
You know,
Give them a chance.
when I first met Gino, it was, about 18 years ago when I first started. And when I interviewed for the position, and I asked the staff, what do you like about working here for the Alzheimer's Association? And every one of them said it was because of Gino. That's why they were there. There was a couple that said no.
I was the only staff person.
But it was all because of him. And, you know, over the years, he brings out the best of you. And he brought the best out of me, he brought the best out of our team. And we are a very small team, 5 people now, but we are a mighty team. And we get things done. Our territory did not shrink, though our staff shrank. It actually expanded. We actually have more territory now. Well, some of us do. And, but we're not afraid to take it on. And I know we're going to, continue to knock it out of the park. And a lot of it has to do with you. Your leadership led us that way. And now I think it is okay for you to go. I do have my color copier. I did get a laptop. It took 18 years.
But who's counting? Who's
Finally
counting?
got a bigger office. Yeah, we're getting the water. Yeah, we're getting the water. So, yes, I hate to see you go, but again, this is not a goodbye. I know where you live. We'll see each other.
Oh, for sure. Thank you, Douglas. Thank you.
So Barbara, Alyssa, and Jen are the last of the other staff members that
I'll
are
go quickly.
welcome to speak.
I'm Elisa Lofton, Senior Program Manager with the Alzheimer's Association, SEVA chapter. And some of you may have heard this story before, but I will never forget it because when I first started working here 6 years ago, I was getting settled in my office, and I was in the office right next to Gino. And I went into his office to ask him a question, but before I asked, I wanted to ask how he would like to be addressed, by Gino or Mr. Calamara. And he was looking at his computer and he turned to me, he had a straight face, and he looked like he was thinking, he goes, how about Vinny the Trick? And he looked at me so seriously, and I wasn't sure. But I have to say, in the last 6 years that I've worked here, I have loved every minute of working for the association. And just like Douglas and Katie have said, you laid down, a foundation for us in leadership and empowerment that we're able to go out there and kind of try all different types of things. No matter how crazy it is, you allowed us to do it, and move towards our goal. And I have to say, prior to working for the association, I would, when I worked for an organization, I'd never really got involved with my coworkers. I would go home and leave. Like, I work here, I'm going home. I couldn't do that here. I couldn't have a guard up here. I couldn't, be the Elisa that was just like, hey, hi, bye, and, and go home. Here, I actually made, lasting relationships. Like, you all know my family, and I know your family. And I don't feel like this is goodbye. We'll definitely see you again. But I want to thank you so much for your leadership. I want to thank you so much for believing in me and for believing in all of us. And everything that you brought to us, and just being the most genuine person I've ever met in my entire life. Thank you, Gino, and I'm so happy for you.
It's funny because he still makes us call him Vinny the Trick.
We know where you live, Jen.
Made that clear. I think it's your
So I guess if there's no one else.
Barb and Jack.
Yeah, no, they're good.
Well, as I said before, I mean, if you know me, this is not easy for me to sit here and hear all this, you know. And it's hard, really, not to be emotional after 27 years. I mean, you know, it's as Douglas alluded to, and you know, he started way back then. We were just really, when I started, it was 4 people, including myself. So, you know, and the association has really been, you know, shooting from the hip when it started, trying to address this very critical need and trying to really always try to do better. And because of that, we were always changing. And that's why we had those Tootsie Roll Pops. Because, you know, I always believe in terms of really looking at keeping the focus on the mission and seeing the positive that can be. And yeah, there were tough times, believe me, there were tough times. And, you know, Sherry and Katie in particular have known those times with me. But oh my God, they were so few.